Want to make get the biscuits out? Only the best, what do I say?
Yeah. Them bad boys.
Yeah, do look good.
My diet was going good until this.
You're dunking it in coffee?
I know, it's crazy.
Is that even right?
It's starting to melt. What's up, carp freaks, and welcome to the June instalment of Carp Life. As you can tell, I'm not on the bank right now. I'm at my home. I've had such a hectic week, and I've only just got back from a really busy group tutorial weekend. So I've got a day at home where I need to do some work down at my lake. Alex has called round for tea and biscuits. As soon as we finish these, I will head off down the lake and get some jobs done down there. But before then, let me tell you about what I got up to at the start of June. Well, right back at the very start of June, I kicked off the month with my first group tutorial of the year. This was for 6 anglers at East Elf Lakes near Peterborough. And I'm not gonna lie, before this session, I really did feel under pressure. 6 anglers, I wanted them all to catch fish, but just a few days before the session, the carp spawned. And they seemed to be in a bit of a dour mood. There'd been no signs of feeding activity. In fact, James, the fishery owner, rang me and said, I think you should consider cancelling or moving the date. But fortunately for me, that wasn't an option. I had no more dates available. But my nerves were settled somewhat when Gav managed to kick things off after less than half an hour of fishing. That didn't take long.
Covered in hot recycling.
That's it, let's get the rod down low. Oh, he's off that side, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many people neglect the place because if they don't feel like they become.
Well, I say if you're fishing a pod or you're 3 rod bars religiously, then you're not able to fish these sort of spots, are you? Missed opportunities.
What?
Yeah. How long has that been in the water? 10 minutes? Not even that. So I don't get a gulp of air.
I don't want to put
Yeah, no, you're doing it fine.
a lot of people just want to bother you and get it.
Here he comes. Yeah. Come on. Oh, yes. Nice one. Oh, you haven't blanked.
Well, that was quick, wasn't it?
That was quick, James. Your fingers over the lens again.
It's not over the lens again. Well, that was quick, wasn't it?
Go.
That was quick, wasn't it?
That was quick, James, yes. Rod was only in the water 5 minutes.
Huh?
And Gav's off to a great start with this really nice £15 ghostie.
In terms of quickage, I find that very pleasing start to the tutorial.
It's very encouraging start, yes.
Nice fish.
It's a lovely fish. I particularly like his nostrils. He's got rather large nostrils, which I do find an attractive feature on a carp.
Yeah, me too.
A lot of people go on about the scales, about the scale pan. For me,
The nostrils.
the size of the nostrils.
Oh, let's get him back then. Well done.
It's strange really, because when I'm out filming challenges and doing magazine features where I have to catch carp for the camera, I never feel under any pressure at all. It's down to myself. But when I'm doing tutorials, I feel under immense pressure. People are paying me to help them learn and to catch fish. And a lot of the times they say, look, I don't mind if I don't catch, I just want to learn. I don't believe them for 1 second. We all want to catch fish. And until I've been able to achieve that, I really do feel like the pressure is on. And just a few moments after Gav had slipped back his ghostie, Steve got in on the action. Ooh.
So Steve's off to an awesome start. He's been fishing about half an hour and he's got this banging 22-pound ghostie. And I've got to say, that fish has got a tremendous pair of nostrils. Probably the best pair of nostrils I've seen since the last ghostie that was caught. So I'll tell you what, James, your fish at East Elf, West North Lakes,
Got the loveliest
I've got
nostrils
the best
in the land.
nostrils I've ever seen.
The nostrils. Let's get him back.
And next off the mark was Pavel, and you may remember Pavel from last month's Carp Life. He was the one that gave me that 72% tea liqueur, which Alex enjoyed so much.
I didn't actually enjoy it.
Yes, you did.
It killed me.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Well, it's kicking off. Pav's got one now. Nice little common of around 11, 12 pounds. So 3 fish on the bank, and we still haven't got everyone angling yet. So I think we're in for a few more fish tonight.
Beautiful nostrils again. Beautiful.
So we've got small
Dainty.
teeth nostrils.
By the following morning, everyone had caught, and a few of the guys in particular had managed to catch multiple fish during the night.
So, third fish now for Steve.
Yes.
And your second 20-pounder.
£21.3.
£21.3. And there's still time for one more.
Oh yes, definitely.
Well done.
That looks nice. Fish number 6 for Chris. That's just greedy. So there's about an hour and a bit left to this tutorial weekend, and Chris has landed his 7th fish of the session. And before this weekend you hadn't had a 20-pounder, had you?
No.
And now this is your 4th 20-pounder. 20 pound 8 ounces this one, so this will be a PB ghostie, won't it? Is it? Oh no, you had a 22 ghostie yesterday, was it?
Oh,
Lost count. But either way, what an epic session.
By the end of the session, fish were still getting caught, and it really was an absolutely fantastic weekend. It certainly surpassed my expectations, especially after all that initial worry and doubt.
So we're right at the end of the session now. There's only 10 minutes before the rods have to come in. So I reckon this is the last fish that's going to be caught this weekend, and this is Podge's fifth fish, 2 ounces off 20 pounds. So I think that's a mega result.
Very, very happy. Thank you very much.
Good, well done, mate. You fished really well, and you did all this by yourself, didn't you? Because you saw fish feeding in the margin just down there, and yeah, you dropped a rig. It was only in what, 10 minutes, and that's happened. So yeah,
shot, yeah,
good angling. Well done.
The next few days were spent working down my lake, and there's still an awful amount of work that needs doing down there. In particular, there are 2 swims that still need to be built, so that took up quite a bit of my time. And there's also lots of evergreens and shrubs that need planting around the newly created stock pond. And speaking of the lake, that's exactly where I'm headed now. So I'll see you there, and I'll tell you a bit more about what I got up to in the middle part of June. So I'm down at the lake now, obviously, and this is what was the old stock pond. It's now been extended. It's around twice the size, and this is going to be called Wood Pool. There's a lot of work to be done before this can be opened as a fishing lake. But that is the plan, to open it as a fishing lake that can be exclusively booked for 2 anglers. It's going to have a higher stock than the main pool, smaller average size, but still some really good fish. And 2 people can book it out exclusively from Monday to Friday. So I'd like it to be the sort of place that's ideal for relative newcomers to the sport, or a great place for a parent and a child, or a couple of mates. Somewhere where people are going to catch a few fish with a chance of something a little bit special along the way. And I'm sure that's what can be achieved. It's already in a really nice woodland setting. We just need to get busy and plant some more trees and things like that, build the swims, need to plant some reeds around the margins, but all being well, this should be open in 2021. Tuck, come on. Tuck, the turkey duck. We've got it's the only duck on the lake. It's the only one that's allowed on the lake anyway. And yeah, it looks like a turkey and it's a duck. So it's called Tuck. Good job, it doesn't look like a flamingo, isn't it? Come on, mate. That's what you'd call a character duck, isn't it? You wouldn't say he's an ugly bastard, you'd say he's a character duck. He's a cool duck, isn't he? The following week it was time for more tutorial sessions, and this time I was quite close to home. I was at Welham Lake in Malton, North Yorkshire, just a 3/4 of an hour drive from where I live. And I had Ian for 48 hours. Now, conditions on this session were absolutely perfect. It was nice and warm, and as we made our way down the shallow end of the lake, there was loads of fish cruising around just under the surface, and it was perfect for a spot of floater fishing. And by the time we'd unloaded the kit out of the van and got set up in the swim, the wind had picked up and it was blowing quite a strong breeze. And that did make it tricky for the conventional floater fishing tactics with floats, because the wind was blowing side on, left to right, which would have created a big bow in the line and very hard to get natural presentation. So instead we opted to fish over depth zigs and spotted out floating trout pellet just upwind to allow them to drift over where we had where we were fishing the hook baits. And it worked an absolute treat. It wasn't long at all before Ian was up and running.
Well, we've been fishing a couple of hours now, and Ian's already had a couple of fish. And this one kind of took us both by surprise, didn't we? We didn't think it was this big, but it's 20 pound exactly. Nice start. He's I think you'd call that one a character fish, or like an old warrior. Yeah, he's not the prettiest thing, but yeah, I'd be happy with a 20 pounder.
Definitely to start with.
Yeah.
Now, as the day wore on, it became quite obvious to me that this session had the potential to produce a good hit of fish. And I set Ian the target of 20 fish in the 48 hours. It might seem like a bit of a tall ask, but conditions were good, the fish were feeding. We'd worked on Ian's casting and his accuracy was absolutely pinpoint. So I had every hope that he could achieve it. So it was a bit like a challenge within a tutorial.
So right now we've got 2 fish in the net that we're just about to take photos of. we're gonna have to wait a couple of minutes. Because he's playing another one.
Through the day, it was just a case of topping up the swim with regular spods of oily floaters, and we're able to keep fish coming right through the day. As we moved towards the evening, I decided to switch things over to fishing on the bottom, and we spotted out a big bed of sweet corn, just sweet corn, and decided to put 2 rods on that baited spot. As I've said, Ian's casting by now was so accurate. He was able to land every spot on a bin lid more or less, and fished 2 rods in a tight baited area. And it wasn't long before action was thick and fast.
You've got another liner, mate. Right, you've got a double take. What are you going to do now?
No idea.
Can I get this other one?
Yeah, let's go on.
Oh. Hey. Fish number 18 now, so we're closing in on our target of 20 fish. But I think it's going to be a tough one actually, because the fish have been moving out of this area on night time. So it's going to be a case of if we can nick one quick before it gets dark, and then we've only really got the hope, I think, of an early morning bite. So I reckon it's going to be tight. It's like a challenge.
Dramatic finish.
Yeah.
And with just half an hour of the session remaining, we're stuck on 18 carp, and I didn't think it was going to be possible at all. But then this happened.
Well, I didn't think Ian was going to do it. I set us both a daft little challenge of catching 20 fish this session, and with just half an hour to go, we're stuck on 18. But 2 bites in 20 minutes, and we've done it. This is fish number 20 of the 48-hour session. Well done, you have fished absolutely awesome.
Thank you.
Really have. Casting has been absolutely pinpoint accurate. Spods have been landing on a bin lid, and I really don't think you could have caught many more on this occasion. You've done absolutely awesome.
Thank you.
Well done.
So, as you can see, we've changed location since you last saw me. I'm now at Welham Lake in Malton, not a million miles away from where my lake is actually, probably about 45 minutes away. And I'm here right now doing a 24-hour tutorial with Gary. We're sort of getting towards the end of the session now. I haven't fished so far, but there's that many fish taking on the top right now. I just couldn't resist having a little go myself. There's loads out there. But they are actually quite spooky. I mean, they're feeding really confidently, but although I find down the end tackle, they certainly know which one's a hook bait.
Well, that didn't take long, did it?
No, about 5 minutes, something like that. The fish were absolutely pack-manning. I did expect to get one like instantly, the way they were feeding so confidently. But it's actually been quite a tough session, this one. It was so windy yesterday, and they didn't really like to take where there was any ripple. But today the wind sort of changed direction. It's blowing more off our backs, isn't it now? Before it was side on and the whole lake was just a big ripple. Whereas now we've got this area of slack water, calm water in front of us, and it seems like everything in the lake's more or less congregated in this one small area, just sheltering from that wind. And it's a cold wind as well. Well, this is my contribution to this 24-hour session. 5 minutes angling, fish on the bank, and now I shall retire. Back over to you for this one, I think. Gary, finish it off. End with a good one. Nice. Now, the majority of my time in June has been spent working down the lake. There's still so much work that needs doing down there, and I want it all done obviously before the lake opens in March. That may seem like a long time away, but I say I want it doing before March. I actually want it doing before the start of winter. I don't want to be down there in the winter months trying to do all the work last minute. I want it all done in good time. There's still swims that need building, and also there's a newly created wood pool, which was the stock pond. There's a lot of work that needs doing on there. Now, I know that doesn't open until the following year, but it is adjacent to the main pool, so it's all part of the same site. And I probably have given myself a bit too much work to do, really, but I want the whole site to look absolutely immaculate when it opens next March.
Well, it's about a month now since we finally finished work on extending the stock pond, but at last it's finally full of water. We've had no rain at all to speak of over the past, well, this year really, and the water coming in has just really been trickling in, and over the past 24 hours it's absolutely chucked it down. And yeah, as you can see, the new pond is full to capacity. It's looking pretty good.
So by now we are at the end of June, and I had a day's filming with Fox to do a new floater fishing video. I met up with Brad, the cameraman, early in the morning down in Cambridgeshire at Abbey Lake. Now, this is a place I'd fished once before when we filmed a challenge. It was a challenge Christmas special, the Face Your Fails challenge. And I did briefly fish on the surface on that occasion, and it was absolutely incredible surface venue, and I was really looking forward to having a full day of floater fishing. When I got there in the morning, it was really cold. Temperatures, it was 13 degrees, not what you expect in June. Very, very stiff breeze blowing as well, really windy conditions, and I thought it was going to be tough going. But my plan for the day was to spod out floaters, and every time I put out a spod I would pour tuna oil directly into the spod, and that helped create a nice slick. Because it's heavy, it flattens off the ripple, and the fish seemed really happy to feed in that nice flat area, that slick that was created, and it ended up being an absolutely fantastic day's floater fishing. I'm not going to give too much away on here because the video is out now on Fox's YouTube channel. So if you check that out, it features myself, Lee Morris and Ian Chilcott, and you can see exactly how I fished during my session, and also pick up a few other tips from the other guys as well. So having finished filming for the day, I made the short drive over to East Elf Lakes, because that weekend I had another group tutorial session. Now, conditions for this forthcoming weekend were set to be very tough indeed. We had a heatwave forecast with temperatures set to reach 35 degrees, and I knew it was going to be tough going. It's not exactly prime angling conditions. And once again, I was feeling under pressure. I said before on the other group tutorial session that until everyone's caught a fish, I won't be able to settle. But thankfully, it didn't take long for the first fish to get caught when Matt slipped the net under this really nice mirror. A short while later, Andy managed to chip in with a really nice scaly double. There's also a few other smaller fish caught around the lake too, and despite the really high temperatures, the tactics that were working well were just simple Pacific tuna bottom baits over a light scattering of baits, all soaked in the hot chorizo liquid. And with temperatures being so high, you would think that zigs or surface tactics would be the one, but instead we're opting to fish on the bottom in any areas of shade that we could find. So either tighten the margins under any trees or foliage, or fishing really close to the islands underneath the trees and the branches, and that's what was picking up the fish. But there were some floater fishing opportunities, and Andy managed to catch his new surface caught PB.
So here's Andy with his new surface PB of £21, 8 ounces. Great stuff, mate. Well done.
Thank you.
Throughout the session, fish were getting caught fairly regularly, and by the end, every angler had caught carp, which I think, given the conditions, was absolutely fantastic.
Not very happy, is it?
Come on, James. Let's see how good a netsman you are.
You want to see some ninja netting?
Your netsman skills are well renowned across
It's all
Peterborough.
about timing, stealth,
Yeah.
and grace.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. And, oh, here we go. Come on, James. Let me see what you're made of. Come on. Go on. Don't ruin it, James. Don't mess it up, James. Don't mess it up. Oh, oh, that's how. That's why you're the best netsman at the Delft Lakes.
In the UK. Oh, I thought you were going to say UK.
When it got me a ghosty.
I promised you a ghosty. I said the next bite will definitely be a ghosty, and you've only gone and got a ghosty. So Matt has only gone and nailed one of his target fish. He said he wanted to catch a ghosty, and he has. He's done it with this fish, rather affectionately known as Seaman Lips Jr. Now,
It's not.
I don't know why it's called
Why
that.
would you
but
call it that?
James, the fishery owner, is going to tell us why it's called
It's
that.
not. It's just a brown and white koi. I don't know.
No, what did you tell me it was called?
Well, the other one's called white lips.
You didn't say that.
Did.
Anyway.
It's always.
Anyway, so yes, we've gone and nailed the target fish.
Well, I'm glad you have, but I don't know why you have to rename everything. It's just annoying, all right?
Well, either way, Matt's happy and I'm happy, and I think James is secretly very happy
Yeah.
that his fish has got a fantastic name.
Yeah, and well done for catching in such challenging conditions.
Yes, it has been tough.
But for me, the highlight of this session was undoubtedly seeing Lauren catch her first ever carp totally unaided. She had caught carp before when she'd been fishing with her boyfriend Ash, who was also on this session. And I think Ash had maybe cast out and she'd reeled in. But this was the very first time that she'd done everything from the start. She'd cast out, baited up, she did everything by herself. And to see her go on, land a carp, which happened to be her new PB as well, was absolutely amazing, and that's why I do these sessions.
So this is Lauren with her first ever carp caught purely by herself, yeah?
Yeah,
So the first time you ever cast out all on your own, reeled in all on your own.
yeah.
and it's also a PB.
Yeah.
£14 exactly. Now you played it absolutely brilliantly. You did great. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. No, genuinely, thank you as well.
Awesome. So, what else have I been doing in July? Well,
June.
what else have I been doing in June? Well, as always, I've been spending as much time as I possibly can with my two girls, and I've been trying to get them outdoors as much as possible. I'm a very outdoorsy person, and I hate it when they're stuck inside just playing on their laptops and tablets and that sort of thing. So, as well as doing running, which we are all still doing together, I decided to take them pond dipping down the local stream that runs through the village. So stream dipping, really. And I was quite surprised at how much we actually caught. We have seen minnows and things like that in the stream, but the girls absolutely loved it, and they were quite proud of their little catch at the end of our half-an-hour session. So we've just had half an hour's fishing down at the stream near our house, and we've caught quite a few, haven't we? Well, what have you got there, Isabella?
I've got a stone loach.
A stone loach. He's a fat stone loach, isn't he? Look at that. That's beautiful, isn't it? The markings on it. Lovely. What have you caught, Francesca?
I caught 2 stone loaches and 4 minnows, and this is a minnow.
Oh, let's have a look at your minnow then. So lift him up. Lift him up so we can see him,
I
don't
feel
we?
like it's going to break.
He isn't going to break. You going to grab him?
Yeah, I'm scared.
Want me to grab him then?
Yeah.
There. Oh, well, there's your minnow. Oh, he is lively, isn't he? Yeah. Come here, big minnow. There. Right, good angling, you two.
Thanks. Thank you.
Want to tip them back then? Gently, just.
I'll take them out one at a time.
Okay then.
There's one.
Yeah. If you want to, just do it gently though, don't just.
2.
That's not looking like it's going to be gently. Do you want a hand?
3. Is this gentle?
Put it lower to the water. Lower to the water. There they go.
5. Okay, that's my bit empty. And 6.
6.
I can see them in the water.
Yeah?
I want to catch it again.
Well done.
I can just take the water out. I also caught a snail thing.
A snail thing?
There was no snail in it.
Ah, just an empty shell.
There's a fish.
So something else that happened in June was we filmed the first episode of my brand new series, Ask Pictures. This is where you can write in on my social media pages, asking me any carpy questions you like, and I'll answer them in a Q&A on my new video series on this YouTube channel. So if you haven't already seen it, make sure you check that out. So that's just about it for me this month. All the kit is loaded into my new van. I'll tell you about that next month actually. But before I go, it's time to announce the competition winner from last month's Carp Life, and that was to win some floater fishing goodies. Now the question I asked you was to come up with a name for my new pop-ups. Now this may not necessarily be a name that we choose, but just something that I sort of like the sound of. And quite a few of you suggested this name, and that was Carp Freaks. That's a name that's we've kind of been playing with a little bit. Quite a few of you suggested it, so what I've done, everyone that suggested that name, wrote the names down, put them in a hat, and the winner was Simon Churchman. Well done, Simon. If you drop me a message either on Facebook or Instagram, let me know your details and we'll get those floater fishing goodies out to you as soon as possible. But it's time for another giveaway. So to stand a chance of winning 5 kilo of Pacific tuna boilies, some hot chorizo liquid and some crayfish meal, all you have to do is simply subscribe to my YouTube channel, subscribe to CC Moore's YouTube channel, and answer this very simple question: what 2 species of fish did my daughters catch when we went pond dipping down the local river? So get subscribing and put your answers in the comment section below, and I'll announce the winner in next month's Carp Life. So that was June, and it's been a strange month. It's been a very, very busy month where it seems not a lot has actually happened. There was us 2 very productive, very successful group tutorial sessions down at East Elf Lakes, and the individual tutorial session I did was a great success also. Got to spend some quality time with my kids as always. But it was the lake that really did take up the vast majority of my time this past month, and I'm pretty sure we'll continue to do so in the coming months also. But now we've moved into July and my workload shows no signs of decreasing. There are more group tutorial sessions ahead down at East Elf Lakes and more individual sessions too. There's also filming of the new episode of The Challenge, and the lake continues to eat up whatever spare time I have at home. It really is quite relentless at the moment, but I'm sure in the future it's going to be very rewarding. But I can tell you all about that and more in next month's episode of Carp Life.